Hi all, and welcome to another Toonkind at 12 FPS. Today we get Respite, the aftermath FPS to Apotheosis, where two traumatized characters get to work that out. Everything that happened. Hi, I'm
Hmm.
Candlestick. I will be playing my traumatized fairy girl, Cassie, and I am joined by the wonderful and absolutely lovely.
Hello, my name is Whis, and I am playing by the equally traumatized. Well, actually, probably not equally. Differently traumatized. He's not the one who got stuffed into a magical machine thing. Chifley Forde. he's not happy. His hair is mostly still white, uh, which is bad.
Yeah, just feels like a bit of those gee, tell me how you really feel sort of moments.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
uh, so yeah, this is taking place pretty much well, not immediately. It's probably been a couple of hours since Chifley and Cassie and I don't remember who it was that dropped her at the hospital, but someone did. Um,
TOC. TOC carried her there,
yeah,
which is the
TOC.
funniest mental image on the face of the earth, because how tall is Cassie again?
I mean, she's about I think she's 4'1".
She's 4'1", and TOC is the size of a chicken.
It is.
It's just the funniest mental image ever.
I'm just picturing like the chicken like carrying her above above their head.
So I was picturing a princess Carrie.
Ah, that too. I mean,
It's even funnier. We're getting
oh,
remarkably off track, but that's how I pictured it, as a chicken carrying Cassie and a princess Carrie to the hospital.
oh god, that's great. Yeah, I love that mental image. That's how it happened. Now it's canon. uh, anyway, you go to the hospital. I I don't know if Chifley would have let them. I'm imagining that he was pretty hot on the heels. But the people at the hospital would have tried to have probably whisked Cassie away to like look her over and stuff like that.
He would have acquiesced it insofar as if they were needing to undress her to look at where her wings should be, things like that. He'd be like, yes, I am going to give my cousin privacy, but you bet that I'm on the other side of that door and no one is going in or out.
That's
Like,
fair.
yeah. So
Yeah.
he would definitely give the privacy where it was medically needed.
Fair enough, fair enough.
Um,
I'm thinking that would have been the case because I also think they probably would have need to have removed the uh the stubs of the wings as
mm,
well. Um yeah, good fun. Good fun mental image.
hmm.
Um but I imagine Chifley was pacing outside the door the entire time.
Yep. Oh yeah, he was not getting as he was staying as physically close to her as practically possible in a medical setting.
Mm.
He by this point was rational,
Mhm.
even if he was distinctly protective and upset. But he also has enough medical knowledge. He's a nurse. He has
Mm.
enough medical knowledge to know how these sorts of things go. That if he really puts his nose in it, he puts her at more risk. So
Mm.
he's close, and anytime she's in a public space, like in being wheeled down through a hallway or anything, he is there. He might not be right next to the berth, but close.
Within
You know,
line of sight, definitely.
Abso- absolutely. And like if she goes into a door, into a room, he's standing outside the room until she comes out again. So,
Yeah.
but like he knows the hospital is reputable. He doesn't think that there's going to be any more secret underground conspiracy business front things at this particular place.
Yeah, he's like, there better not be.
Yeah, I don't think he'd be able to handle it if it happened again, especially not within the same day. He would lose it.
Yeah. Oh no, that's definitely fair, and I don't feel like putting our characters through that as No, that would be too traumatizing on top of all the trauma that we've
Yeah, we
we've
have to give them a break before we can go on to the next traumatic event.
Yep, yep. So the doctors have looked at Cassie, um, done what they can, and probably would have put her in a room somewhere, uh, where Chifley and her can have some privacy. Since you are family, you probably would, and I think since the rest of them are, they're on their way in some form or another. Um, Chifley, I guess, then is the one getting the rundown of what they found and stuff, which is essentially I kind of did a bit of a TLDR in the group chat afterwards, but just putting it here as well so anyone listening can have it. So they couldn't salvage the wings. They had to remove the ends of it, but because the wings are magic, there is a chance that they will grow back in naturally. But like how long that will take, if it will happen, all of that stuff is completely up in the air because, I mean, magic wings. It's not exactly something that they have a lot of experience with.
Mm-hmm.
Um, she also has magical strain, unsurprisingly, given everything.
Mm.
Um, so that's her color, which was oversaturated before, has now become undersaturated, and that's a sign of the magical strain. That'll
Mm-hmm.
uh, come back to normal with her magic in about a week, probably around a week. Again, that sort of stuff can be a bit up in the air.
Mm.
Physically, she seems to be mostly okay. Other than that, a little bit exhausted. Um, not dehydrated or anything like malnourished or anything like that.
So they were at least feeding her. That's good.
Yeah. Um, there is there is a burn, like sort of all the way across her right forearm, which um, Chifley doesn't know that she's Fae. So yeah, don't
Yeah, no, I don't think it's ever come up.
I don't know if the doctors know this, and I don't know if they've figured out what caused it. Just it's there.
Mm-mm.
It's not going away.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, that's fair enough.
Yeah, and so now it's just the two of you in the room.
Cool. Um, Chief will pull up a seat next to the bed that they put Cassie in, and he will not stare at her because that's a little creepy. Um, but he's like will glance at her and then just look at the room and keeping an ear out on the soundtrack, and it's fairly normal, calm hospital post surgery kind of low violin and all that sort of stuff.
Hmm.
Um, Nothing seems impending, which is a comfort to him. So he's just gonna sort of vaguely keep watch. Um, and the room is cold because he's there. But like they've accounted for that and they've put blankets on Cassie after they've dressed her the wounds on her back and on her arm and redressed her, put blankets on her to counteract her cousin's ambience.
Mm-hmm.
And when Cassie kind of half comes to, yeah, it is cold. It's got goosebumps on her skin, and there is a pale blue and white shape sitting next to her, dozing off a bit.
Yeah, I'm actually gonna roll a con. See how long it takes her to wake up.
Okay.
Would help if I could hit my dice tray. Oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah, good,
I just
good.
need to look at her modifier. Where did you go? I know I had you up just before. There you
Dirty 20, that ain't bad.
Yeah. So yeah, it's not actually very long at all before she's waking up.
Mm.
I probably still a little bit disoriented. I'm gonna roll her a perception, see how long it takes her to figure out, I guess, where she is.
Mm. And at the same time, I also don't blame Chifley for dozing off now that the calm has landed,
Hmm.
because adrenaline crash, and also he did kind of go through a whole thing with his magic not being there and then being there and then pumping every bit of heals he had left into her. So
Yeah.
he's a bit spent. But primarily, I'm going to say it's the adrenaline crash, because it's like, okay, everything's over.
Oh, I know that feeling.
Yeah.
Uh, Apparently I'm rolling really good at the moment because
Oh, good on her.
she is. I think she is awake and she is alert. But
I
she's
don't blame her for that at all.
but she's very quickly picked out where that she's not somewhere well
She's not in a
familiar.
bubble.
Yeah,
She's
she's
not
not
in
in
a
a
bubble.
bubble. And she's also not in the cell that she'd been staying in for her duration there either. So
Put her in the cell. Oh my gosh.
Wait,
We
you think
hadn't.
she wasn't in the bubble the entire 2 months?
I mean, stranger things have happened.
Yeah, but
But
no.
yes, carry on.
So she's not in either of those two places. She's not somewhere else she recognizes, but I think she's picked up pretty fast. Um, she's been to a hospital before. She knows what they look like.
Mm,
So that's not hard to put together. Um, Especially not with how she's feeling currently.
mm.
And she has spotted Chifley in the chair. I don't know if Chifley has spotted that she's awake yet, though.
Let's find out, because you're bugged, mate. So I'm going to make you roll perception. Let's see what happens. That's atrocious. It's not a nat 1, but it is a 5. So we're going with a 9 straight off the bat, Chifley.
Oh,
It's
fantastic.
taking him a moment. Like, he hasn't if she hasn't moved, he hasn't twigged that she's awake, because he's just crashing and he's just zoning this straight out.
Yeah, I don't think she has moved. Or actually, I don't know if whether her waking up had been fairly abrupt or not. But she hasn't.
Roller a deception.
Yeah, okay, I guess I shall. I've actually been wondering as well whether she has 1 point of exhaustion at the moment, mechanically as well.
That would be fair, you know?
Yeah,
After
alright.
everything she went through.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that. So that's disadvantage on ability checks. So I'm gonna roll it twice.
Mm-hmm. I think because she's had wing trauma as well, they probably would have put her in the bed on her side rather than
Yeah.
laying her on her back, even though she doesn't have wings anymore. She did just have her wing stubs taken off.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
she would have been propped up on her side, presumably facing Chifley so that she can see him.
Yeah. Yeah.
So she would just have to open her eyes to see him. She wouldn't have to get up or turn her head or anything. So
Fair enough. So it's not great.
Hmm.
I do think there was a bit of a jolt when she woke up, but now she's just. But I think just the head jerk.
It's
Um.
still more than a 9.
Yep. I'm sorry, Chif. She's not doing anything to alert you to her presence because she's thinking.
Oh yeah. Yep. That's fair. Um yeah, he hasn't noticed. He's just going to continue to sit there and slowly blink at the room in general. He's trying not to fall asleep. Like, he's doing that little just sort of nod, jerk up, nod sort of thing. Like, not super often, but just enough. And like, even just looking at his eyes, she doesn't need to roll anything for this. She's just looking at him, and his eyes are open, but he's not really necessarily seeing anything.
Hmm. Yeah, that's fair. I um I kind of want him to roll another perception though because it's gonna take. She's not saying anything.
Yeah, that's fair. They'll have this moment where she's like, "Where am I? Okay, not there. Cool, good start. Hospital. All right, great. Ah, okay." And yeah, let me roll him another one. See if I can beat a 12. Hey, there you go, Chifley. That is a 17 on the dice. That is a 21. It will take him a while, I think, to realize that her eyes are open, and it'll take him a while for his own eyes to sort of just focus in enough to sort of register it, and then he'll blink, and then he'll straighten. Cassie, you're awake. Oh, thank goodness.
Oh, now I just gotta. How does she respond to this? Because normally she would be very open with that response, but right now she's just not sure. Like, uh,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. I mean, you're welcome to roll an insight.
I just might. Oh, Chifley's had an increase to his insight since his level up. I like that.
Oh, nice.
Oh, I like that a lot. That is a 24.
Yep. Well, Chifley can see those gears turning behind her head. The like, it it's she wants to be hopeful. She wants it to be him, but there's just this part of her that won't let her. She can't. Not after how bad last time went.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yep, that's fair. And while Chifley doesn't know this from her reaction to seeing TOC in the place, it's not out of the question that the changeling hadn't come to visit her in other forms too. So it's like, ooh. Okay. Now, I'm going to firstly roll him a history and see what happens there. Okay, yeah, that's a 15 all up. So he's looking at her, seeing this little bit of hope, but this apprehension on her face, and he can hear that tension, that uncertainty in her theme. And he goes to sort of reach out a hand to touch her arm, but then he pulls back. It is me. This time oh, Cassie, I'm so sorry.
I think it takes her a couple of moments, before she in a fairly soft voice, just show me your back.
My back. And he kind of does a glance over his shoulder, but then looks back at her. Why?
I need. I want to be. They don't know about your back.
It's going to take him a second, and then realization, and she can just sort of see it tick over in his expression. Uh, right. And he kind of does this agitated movement with his hands. I don't. Oh, all right. And he is shaking a little bit, sort of the same way that when she saw his back the first time.
Hmm.
But he does pull off his sheer overshirt and and then pulls up his white undershirt and then sort of shifts in the chair and turns so that she can see his back. And just like the first time, there is that harsh brand burnt into his pale skin with a very vague blue sheen to it. Right where she saw it last.
Hmm. Yeah, I think Chifley's not going to be able to see it because he's got his back turned to her, but like immediately the tension sort of like drops from her. And yeah, she didn't want to have to do that. She knows how much, like she can guess how much that wasn't nice to do, and even less so in a semi-public area. But she couldn't. She needed some sort of proof.
Mm. And he can't see her face, but he can hear the tension in her theme relax a little. And he glances over his shoulder and uh, can can I put my shirt back on?
Yeah, she's gonna nod. Just I don't know if she has a huge amount of words right now.
That's fair. And he'll put his shirt back on, and Cassie will notice that his hair is almost completely white, and his skin. It was more obvious when he had his shirt off, but creeping up like the underside of his chin and at the very edges of his cheeks, and on his neck and his arms and chest and back, are all covered in frost. And there are a few places on his arms that it may as well be made out of ice in a few places. Um, he still has his gloves on, so she can't see his fingers or anything. But yeah, he looks like he's kind of half spliced with actual chunks of ice to a point. But he does put his clothes back on and turns back to face her, and then he sort of very timidly reaches a hand out and puts it on her not burnt arm, very gently.
Well, I just rolled a whiz save for her. See how she's doing
Mm.
emotionally. Wasn't great. I'll put that in the. Uh,
Uh-huh.
she's just kind of like I think she's launched herself a little bit at him. Into a hug.
Oh, oh, Cassie, honey. No, Chifley will jump ever so slightly because that was that's an 8. Oh dear.
And she's also
He's gonna
crying.
jump. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, he's gonna jump because he really wasn't expecting her to do that. And you know the sort of
Mm,
startled arms and then relax into the hug, wrap his arms around her. He's gonna do that, and she can feel that his arms are distinctly not where her wings should be, but he is holding her fairly firmly, not painfully tight, but uh, uh, pretty damn firm.
yeah, yeah. I think there's just a kind of a. I didn't. I thought no one was coming.
I'm so sorry, Cassie. I'm sorry that any of this happened. I'm sorry it took us so long. It's all my fault.
It, it wasn't you. I no, it wasn't you.
My magic did this. And it wasn't for you wouldn't have been put in that position at all.
Um, just thinking. I think she is gonna like sort of like shake her head a little bit and actually has she I don't know whether she's put together um I imagine actually Odile probably would have gloated a little bit about some of the
Mm.
plans and stuff. So yeah, I think she's gonna shake her head and they've been tracking me a lot longer than that. Wasn't wasn't your fault.
But it all got worse after my magic changed, and I hit you with it, and I never wanted to do that to you.
Yeah, just crying a little bit harder. The nod and the. I know. Um, I'm sorry too.
For what? You got nothing to be sorry for.
I think I did. I thought I hurt people.
And it took you.
I no. I don't remember, but magic. The they, they put me in a machine, and I don't remember, but I think I hurt people.
Oh, well. Yeah, it was strange. It felt like my magic was being drained away. And, I don't know what it was doing to the others. But when we got you out of there, it all went back to normal. And, well, neither was particularly comfortable, but he managed to not completely freeze the room. And he gives this sort of half-hearted, as if he's trying really hard to try to lighten the mood. Is like, yeah, be proud of me. I didn't completely turn it into an icebox.
Oh, I don't think she's doing quite well enough to take that hint, though. I think she's just sort of clutching tighter, and because oh god, you were there. Because she still doesn't know who came for her yet.
Yeah. Were you in any pain?
How is she doing actually? Because I actually also don't know if she knows about. Because she just woke up. I don't know if she even knows about her wings.
Mm-hmm.
Con, you reckon?
Yeah, probably con.
uh, okay.
That's encouraging. Oh.
Well, it could be worse, but not by much.
Not by much. Oh dear.
I gonna say that she's worked out as well from that something's wrong with her wings.
Mm-hmm.
I think she is gonna um probably pull back a little bit because, yeah, like a bit of confusion, a bit of ow, and just not great. I, mm, my, did something happen to my wings?
It's your deception, Chifley. Let's see whether or not he can keep a straight face at that question. Oh. No. No, he can't. What's your deception? +2. That's a 7. Oh, she can very clearly see him wince. He doesn't answer straight away. There's just this slight movement of his jaw where he's like, how do I break this to her?
Chif, I, what, what, what happened? She's sort of doing a bit of that twist thing to,
yeah,
that she can't see.
He kind of does that eyes shut, wince, clench of the teeth thing for a second, and then they broke. And they're gone.
Okay, with save time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's not as bad. Thankfully, saves don't have disadvantage, so
15. Yeah, okay.
so she's not freaking out, but there is kind of a blink, blink. What?
When we got you out of that machine, they were just shot. And the doctors couldn't do anything to repair them. They said they might grow back, but now they're gone. I'm so sorry.
There's a little bit of like a half laugh, half sob as I guess that's why it hurts.
Yeah, they removed the remnant so that if they do grow back, there's room for them to do so. But for now, it's just bandages.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. She just doesn't really have much to say. That's a lot.
Yeah. Jeff's gonna reach a hand out and he's gonna take hers in his and just give it a little squeeze.
I think she's gonna squeeze back.
I'm sorry we didn't come for you sooner.
I just sort of a bit of a shrug is I know that I knew that someone was pretending to be me.
They were. They made a point to avoid me. And when I finally came face to face with them, I could tell their theme was wrong. Between Crystal and I, we nearly killed her.
I'm glad you didn't. Don't want you to have killed someone because of me.
They didn't make it easy for us. They were happy to taunt us at every given choice.
Would Chifley like to roll an insight?
Mm-hmm. Ooh, tasty. 27.
Yep. So, there is a little bit of a wince, from Cassie. I can roll deception. I can roll deception. How well are you hiding this? Okay, well, that's one. Um, not well, I can tell you that much.
Certainly doesn't beat a 27, that 9.
No, not even close.
Nope.
Yeah, no, there's a definite wince when you say that, and a nod. You get the impression that she is familiar with the taunting of the shape changer.
Yeah. Chip's hair is completely white now. And the hand that's still holding onto hers is shaking ever so slightly. I know that they used me to get to you.
I didn't know for a while.
They kept it up. Even after they took you.
And shakes her head. Um, was it didn't. They weren't around when I woke up for a while, I think. But when they came back and told me.
I'm sorry. I don't know what I can do to... Don't think there is anything I can do. All of them are in custody now. Detective Stagehand made sure of it.
Okay. Okay. knew. I know it wasn't you.
Even so, I used my face to get to you. My magic triggered all of this. Gave them the opportunity they needed. And then I didn't. When the shape changer was in your place, I was giving you. He does little quotes with his hands. Space. I mean, you had just been kidnapped. And every time we asked, every time Missy asked, every time I asked, you were. I took it at face value and I was told that I needed more time. I should have insisted. I should have at least visited sooner. Instead, because I didn't. You were in that place for so long. And if we were any later, I don't know what would have happened to you.
She's squeezing your hand back. Now I'm just trying to figure out words. I didn't help either. I cut everybody off.
You didn't. If you had cut everybody off, there wouldn't have been a small army of us storming that place to get you back.
I don't know who came.
Well, there was Detective Stagehand and myself. There was a black and white fellow with one disconnected hand. A chicken. I didn't catch their names. I wasn't really in the headspace to make introductions. There was a chicken and a large three-headed bird in armor.
She's nodding along, and then the armor is just like, "Oh, that's new. I don't remember that."
He doesn't know that. The only one of the party he'd met more than once was Lynn.
That's the one Cassie doesn't know.
Yeah.
I think yeah, she's probably paused and she's thinking about that. I don't know, Detective Stagehand.
Crystal brought them on board. Their whole job is to, well, solve crimes and things like that. We brought them on when you first went missing. And when we found the shape changer, we opted for calling her again, rather than ridding the world of that person. Though it did come close.
Oh. Okay. Thank you.
Hopefully it doesn't happen again. But if it ever does, I wouldn't hesitate. And he gives her hand another squeeze.
She's squeezing it back, but also, her expression says she hopes it never happens again either, because, nope, no. Once was enough. God, once was more than enough.
Yep.
Which difficult question are you gonna ask first? Alright, I've got 3 questions, and I'm just deciding which number is which question.
Mhm.
Alright, got them. Alright, here goes the D3. Okay. That makes sense. She's paused, she's thinking, taking in information, then, you said Chris. Yeah.
She's the one who noticed that you were missing first. We went to see you after we didn't hear from you when Missy and my birthdays rolled around. And you weren't at home. And we went to talk to Crystal to see if she'd heard from you, and she said no. And she engaged the detective afterwards. And when you, he does chorus with his free hand, were rescued, Crystal didn't leave their side.
Until you found
Until I
out.
came along. Yeah.
Okay.
She would have come, but the detective had her stay behind.
Yeah, I think Edie Maniamo mentioned that she wanted to come, but I didn't know because I wasn't talking to her before I went missing.
You both still live, so it's not too late to mend a bridge. And you know what? I'm going to make that stutter like canon to him. He's trying to be eloquent, but he's so tired.
That's fair. Uh, yeah, she's gonna nod. Just, yeah, that. That's gonna be a whole thing to unpack at a later point. Alright, next question, I suppose. Alright, yeah, processing that, sort of nodding. I think actually the stutter might have given, it might be reason for this question, of course. Um, just, you back?
Okay. Yeah, I'm back. That was weird. My mic stopped working, and I could tell because my headphones are plugged into my mic, so I just unplugged it and plugged it back in. Seems okay now. Weird.
Well, that's weird, but good that it was an easy fix.
Yeah.
I don't know if you missed anything that I said, but just it makes sense that she would ask this one next, given that with the stutter being canon, is
Mm-hmm.
are you all right? Is everyone all right?
I'm not hurt. The large three-headed bird is here in the hospital as well. Um, but stable.
That was an insight. She's
Mm-hmm.
um yeah, she's too tired to really be able to tell. But she still looks uncertain.
I mean, He's being genuine. He's not hurt. This statement, not incorrect. It is not the answer to "Are you okay?" Because the answer to that is no.
That's fair.
Two very different questions.
I'm gonna say with that insight though, she doesn't realize that. So I think she's more just a bit too busy trying to like look at him to check, you know, that he's not lying about being
Yeah.
hurt.
Well, I mean, there is definitely the obvious things of his hair is completely snow white at this point, and she can still see those bits of frost on his skin and a few patches where his skin is crystalline. So, mind you, they haven't really hung out a huge amount since Whiteout,
Yeah.
but yeah, at least the very last time she saw him, he did still have color to his hair, and he wasn't covered in frost and was not part ice. Where he's definitely those things now, and like the room is cold, and his hands are cold where she's touching her. But like, it's inconsistently cold, I guess. Like, I can't even like if you know those rotating doors, and like it's air conditioned on one side and not on the other. Or they're air conditioned to different temperatures, so it's still cold, but like it's in flux. Like he doesn't quite have control over his own atmospheric ambience, I guess is a good way to put it.
Fair enough. I think she's probably I don't know. I don't know if she's cold or not at the moment, but she has noticed, and I think she's gonna give his glove like a bit of a poke and you're frosty.
Yes, I just seem to be. And he's not going to elaborate. He's just going to sort of look at his hand and be like, "Yeah, I am." Yeah, he's like, yeah, funny that.
She hasn't put together what that means, but she is pursuing this line of questioning a little bit. You went this icy last time I saw you.
I'm still getting used to all the intricacies of my new form. But if I'm stressed or upset, I change.
Yep, there's a nod at that. I don't think she's gonna.
It's pretty self-explanatory, really.
Yeah. Also, why would he be upset? I can't think of any reason he would be upset right now. So, yeah, just a nod. And probably another hand squeeze. Oh, okay. I just got this line from her, so
I love it when that happens.
with the hand squeeze is sorry I made you worry.
You're my family. Of course I'm gonna worry. I've lost too many people I care about to sit idly by if you are in danger. Same goes for Crystal. Same goes for Dorian. You're the only family we've got left. And I will defend you at every turn.
she seems a little like a bit hard to like because she gets it because she's lost family too and she definitely understands that. I think because it's a bit interesting for her because she sort of grew up being the one too young to understand what was happening with her mum.
Mm.
So she
Mm-hmm.
doesn't quite understand that side of things as much, like this desire to be protective of the rest of her family.
Mm-hmm.
But she has seen that desire to be protective far too much from the rest of her family, so she definitely recognizes it in Chifley.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I think she's just sort of a bit contemplative before. I'm glad you're here.
They couldn't keep me away.
And just look at the room, look at the ice. um, just
Mm.
um, I can see that.
He's gonna actually blush a little bit and lean back just a smidge. Are you warm enough? I can get more blankets if you need.
How is she doing with the cold? I might just check. Okay.
Man, she's cold.
Yeah. All right.
Mm.
This one will be fun. Well, she's got disadvantage on her deception at the moment.
Oh.
Actually, that's
That's a
supposed to be a plus
natural one.
5, but it's still a natural one, so that's a 6.
Yeah, that ain't
she's
much.
she's shivering a little bit even, and she's like, "I'm okay."
He's just gonna. He's blushing. He's like, oh god, I did it again. And he's gonna lean back from her a little bit, although he doesn't seem quite willing to let go of her hand.
That's good
Um,
because she's not quite willing to let go of his hand either.
yeah. uh, Um, we can get more. Oh, I'm sorry, Cassie. I can't stop it. And does she want to roll an insight on him?
Sure, this will be at disadvantage, so this will be fun.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Well, it's I can tell you it's already not great. The same as before. That's a 4.
uh, yeah. What can I give you for a 4? Uh, okay. He's definitely embarrassed. There's a little bit of embarrassed in there, and he is fussing. Like he's got his free hand and is trying to like double over the blankets she does have, so that there can be another layer around her because he wants to go and get more blankets, but he also doesn't want to let go of her. And it's like, uh,
Yeah.
um. But beyond that, she can't have it with a 4.
No. Hold on. I'm just checking her fumble chart to see if she has this something that can be of use in here. Um. I mean, oh, that could work. Give me a moment.
Mm-hmm.
D10, D10. Where's my D10? You're not gonna believe this.
Did she fumble?
She fumbled. Alright, I guess this is the first time I've fumbled with Cassie.
Yay.
Alright, what did you pull out? Oh my god! So that was a 2. So she's pulled out a full drum kit. So she's reached into her hammer space, and the full drum kit comes out with a ba-dum, and she's just like,
The fact that it opens with a badum tish makes me so happy. uh, well, I can quite easily say that Chifley is startled and bemused out of his funk somewhat.
yeah, there's a no, isn't it? And she's just gonna look at it. I'll get that later, and try again. All right, this time she gets it. That's an 8. She's gonna pull out a warm jacket. And put that on. Yeah.
Cool.
Actually, might say it's her poncho for the title card.
That makes sense.
And the blanket bundle back up, like sort of, pull it over head and sort of like wriggle over to the side of the bed so she can still hold Chifley's hand.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
It's okay. I know what it's like.
There are some things just out of our control, I suppose.
Yeah.
Well, I think I can think of a few things that are in our control.
Yeah.
I'll call for the doctor. I want to talk to you now you're awake. And if they're satisfied, we can go home.
Um. Yeah. There's a she not keen on meeting other people at the moment, so there is a little bit of a hesitance at the doctor, but she does look keen to go home. The I think before um before like sorry, I'm just trying to articulate. The I think she's before Chifley like gets up to go get the doctor or whatever. She is going to ask. Can I ask? I How long was I gone? I don't actually know.
Was about 2 months.
Okay. There's a bit of a right, yeah, because she knew it had been a while, but not really any way to keep track of the date, so that's still a very long time just like being confirmed. So yeah,
Mm.
it's a little bit um
And she doesn't have to roll inside to see that very obvious apologetic expression on Chifley's face again. It's like, yeah, we took 2 months to save you. I'm so sorry.
the plot be like that sometimes.
It do.
She yeah, she wants to reassure him, but she's also kind of reeling at the moment from wow, okay, 2 months.
Mm. Mm, mm, mm.
Um yeah, but I think if Chif wants an escape, he can go find the doctor now if he would like.
Oh, well, he wasn't going to leave the room because that is against his current MO of I am only going to leave her out of my sight if she is, like, desperately needing privacy, like going to the bathroom or something. Um, Within reason. Like, if she wants him to fuck off, he will. But,
No, not at the moment.
yeah, no, because he doesn't want to let go of her hand, but there is, in every hospital room I've ever been in, a little button that you can push on the
Yep,
wall that says summon a nurse. So
yep,
he's gonna push that, and the little light will go ding, and then it'll sit like that until a nurse comes in.
yep, yep. I am very familiar with those kind of a benefit of, I suppose would be the word, of having parents work in the medical industry is very familiar with hospitals.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep.
So, the flashy ding 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 ding.
Yep. And then
This,
a couple of minutes. It probably doesn't take that long for a nurse to come
yeah,
by because they
yeah.
probably have a number of them on the ward. At least it was like that in the maternity ward anyway.
Mm, mm-hmm.
But yes, the nurse will come in and Chifley will look over at them, still not letting go of Cassie's hand, not for love nor money.
That's fine. The nurse can work around it.
Yeah, we'd like to go home. And the nurse will nod and, oh, I'll go and get the doctor and see whether or not she can be discharged. And she'll scurry off, and the doctor will come back after a little while with the chart. You have a chart and presumably ask Cassie some questions. I don't know.
Yeah, probably a few things like how are you feeling? Are you in any pain? What's the last thing you remember? Can you tell me your name, age, that sort of thing, date of
Mhm.
birth. Um, yeah, just all of that medical stuff. Probably get some
Yep.
painkillers prescribed.
Yeah, get there on the good stuff. Fantasy
uh,
morphine.
yeah, well, except I don't think she can be on that and go home at the same time.
I mean, I was on some pretty heavy stuff when I came home, but
Oh, okay, then I've never been in as
not
much.
morphine, mind you, not morphine, but heavier than ibuprofen and paracetamol. But
Yeah,
same
yeah.
thing.
I'm pretty sure morphine puts you to sleep from memory, but I
I don't know.
might be wrong on that. I've not had it much, so thankfully.
Yeah, I think that's a good thing. Um,
Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, prescribe some painkillers. Um, they could gather up her drum kit, shove it back in the pocket and
I imagine
whatnot,
there
and
was a bit of a like double take from the nurse when they walked in.
yeah. I mean, for the gag, one of them could walk into it, but at the same time, we're trying to be discharged from hospital. We don't need slapstick necessarily.
Yeah, I don't think the hospital is the greatest place for slapstick to have a either.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, so they'll go through all of the bits and bobs and go to your local GP equivalent to have a checkup in a couple of days, and then go from there. Blah blah blah,
Mhm.
and then Chifley has still not let go of her hand, but
Yep.
they're walking out the front door of the hospital together.
Nice. Um I'm just thinking like, probably like, where are the others at the moment? Because that's definitely something that's on Cassie's mind. Like, just
As in the rest of our
the rest of the
party.
family.
Oh, the family? Well, Crystal and Rye were in Halloween
Halloween Town.
Town. Um, Chifley does have Crystal's mobile phone number, though, so he would have called her. And he would have called Dorian as well at home. So I'm assuming they're all kind of congregating on this hospital, is my assumption. So it's either they're going to have to call everyone and say, we're going home, or wait, or not tell them and just go home and have them show up at the hospital when they're not there.
For the sake of sanity, I'm kind of wanting to go with the latter one.
I mean, at the same time, I think it's probably more likely that Chifley would do one of the first two. Rather than
enough.
just leave and have them show up and be like, oh no, she's missing again. That seems mean.
That's fair, that's fair.
Yeah. So I think he might. His phone is text capable, so he might send a text from his Nokia brick phone to Crystal and to Dorian saying, we're going home. Full stop.
Yeah,
That's it.
fair
And
enough.
then just head home. Just gonna walk. Or get a. I think they have taxis in Toontown. He'll get a taxi.
Yeah,
Take her home, take them back to the Forde's apartment.
yeah. Okay. I think then to give them a little bit more privacy, let's say Crystal gives you a text back trying to get out of the house.
Oh, yes, because network wasn't letting them out.
And I think maybe Dorian went to pick Missy up from school to then
Mm,
go to the hospital.
yep. Yeah, yeah. Missy has no idea what's going on. Ignorant. Oh,
Well,
gosh.
Dorian does now. Dorian just knows, hey, your daughter is at the hospital.
Yeah. Um, yes. So I suspect Dorian is picking Missy up and then gets this text from Chifley saying, we're going home. So, oh, okay. Well, we'll go back to the apartment then.
Yeah, yeah. Give them a little bit more time to
Mm,
them
mm.
to themselves. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, I imagine they make it back to Chifley's apartment just
Hmm.
fine.
Yeah. Completely event free. But unless he physically has to in order to get out of the car and stuff, he's not letting go of her hand. He's refusing. He's no. No, we are maintaining physical contact at all times.
Yeah, this is definitely not not going to be contested by Cassie because she's also finding reassurance in the okay, there is someone that I know is who I know they are, and I am not losing contact with them, so you know.
Mm, yeah. So I figure they probably get back to the apartment before anybody else does.
Yep.
And Chiff is then he's just sort of looking at the apartment, and then he looks at his bedroom door and at Missy's bedroom door and then at Dorian's bedroom door, and then he's just sort of squinting at the apartment, going, "Hmm, hmm, hmm." We do not have enough beds in this house. He hasn't said anything. He's just sort of giving the apartment a bit of a look.
I might roll an insight or a perception
Mm-hmm.
for Cassie to see if she's worked out what the issue is.
Yep.
Well, not off to a great start. Alright. Um, do I want to be a perception or an insight? It's a +2 or a +4 depending on which one I go with. Not that I think it's going to make a huge amount of a difference, so let's go
Give her
with,
the +4.
yeah, I'm going
Give
with
her a best
perception.
chance. 12. Um. Okay, with a 12, she can definitely tell he doesn't think there's anything wrong or out of place with the apartment. He doesn't think there's any threats. But he's looking very pointedly at the bedroom doors, and then after a few moments of this, he turns to her and says, "If you'd like to stay here with us, you can have my room, and I'll sleep on the couch. It's not very big, but it's safe, at least."
I don't want to kick you out of your room.
That's fine. That couch is very comfortable, and I want you to be comfortable more than anything.
Uh, guess. Yeah. Not a lot of space in here, is there?
No. When we moved in, it was a home for two. Then, three. I won't ask you to move in with us. I know you like your own space, but it does feel very small.
Oh, okay. Another line she just handed me, but this time I'm rolling deception. Okay, well, I've got to roll it at disadvantage. Yeah, that's what I thought.
Am I going to need to contest this? 13? Alright, let's see what we got. That's a 14 on the dice. And your inside is a +8. Nah.
Yeah, she's trying to hide it, but she's uh probably like bit her lip to sort of like stop whatever it was that she was going to say, because
He's gonna look at her and he's smiling encouragingly, but he's also got one eyebrow arch. He's like, got something to share with the class?
um yeah, she's gonna, after a moment, well, it's still bigger than where I've been staying for the last 2 months.
Oh, his smile drops immediately. And he's just gonna pull her closer and give her another one of those tight, squeezy hugs.
Mm. Yeah, she's gonna reciprocate. Just so, um, don't particularly want to be alone much at the moment.
Well, we have a few options. I'm just trying to think how I make it work without freezing you to death. This, and he kind of gestures to himself with his free hand, gets worse, and I'm asleep. I wonder how many blankets we've got. And he's just going to trot over to this other door, and he opens it up. There's a linen cupboard. And he just starts pulling more blankets out. And some of them were his and Missy's from when they moved out of home, and some of them were Dorian's. He's like, okay, these are all the blankets we own.
Yeah, Dorian probably would have added a fair few, probably like half of the carpet is contributed from Dorian.
Yeah. And he just sort of pulls them out, and there's this big growing pile on the floor, and then he's got a hand on his chin, and then he looks over at the bedroom, and then looks over at the lounge area, like where the couches are, and well, we could have a sleepover.
Cassie's gonna give him a bright smile at that because that sounds fun. Yeah, just yeah. I It's been a while since I've had one. Not since before I left home.
I think the last one I had when I was about 10. It does get weird when you start thinking about things in decades. And he kind of rubs the back of his head.
Yeah, yeah. Cassie's gonna nod to that. Yeah, like ugh, that's not fun when you're thinking about things in decades. Uh, to be fair, her definition of sleepover was just her and Crystal. So
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But Chifley just finishes rubbing the back of his head, and he looks over at the couches and the pile of blankets, and then over at the kitchen. We can order pizza. I don't feel like cooking anyway, so that's fine.
um,
He's now planning out this sleepover in his head. He's just going, we could make that work. We could
yeah,
make that work.
yeah. She again brightens at pizza. Like yes, she has not had pizza in a very long time.
Yeah. Okay. Um. Yeah. So I think he's going to order probably too much pizza, quite frankly. Um. But he's going to order pizza. He's going to you call up, order a whole bunch to be delivered, and then sort of start half kicking all the blankets over towards the couch area because he's still refusing to let go of Cassie's hand. Like, making this deliberately difficult for himself by not letting her go. Um,
uh, okay. I was actually curious to whether he would have let go of her hand to go order the pizza in the kitchen or
he has a
something
mobile
like
phone.
that. Because I just rolled a Constitution save,
Uh huh.
and well, it might be easier to show you.
Oh.
Yeah. But so I think it's probably while while Chifley is sort of like kicking the blankets, and then there's a bit of a jerk on his hand as Cassie sort of like stops with a bit of a little gasp and lets go of his hand.
Mm hmm. He's going to immediately stop and turn as if like, oh shit, what's happening now?
Um, yeah. So hey Chifley, have you ever seen someone have a redesign before?
He wasn't really watching his own. Um. uh. No, I don't think so.
Yeah. So uh I believe it's been described as like sort of like scribbles on like the outside of a tune, and sort of like drawing and redrawing when you actually see someone going through a redesign when it's not off screen.
Oh,
Um
that's funky.
yeah, yeah. You can I believe Snail, who was the first one to come up with the redesign, that actually happened on screen. So um
Ooh.
So, um,
Neat.
and normally it's normally not a painful thing to happen, and it's not necessarily even it's not painful per se, but it she does have magical strain still, and this is trying to draw on energy that she doesn't have a lot of at the moment. So she's sort of
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
that's why I rolled the con. So she's not doing great. in that regard, so she's a little bit wobbly on her feet.
Yeah.
And it seems to be taking a longer time than it should be.
Okay. I'm gonna roll Chifley a medicine. And it wants to scroll, please. Thank you. Yes, I'm gonna roll Chifley a medicine because as a nurse at the ECCR, you would assume that he would know what this sort of thing is. So like, okay. Thank goodness that he has a really good modifier, but it's not terrible. Okay, that's a 21. Yeah.
Not
So he's
terrible.
like, oh, I mean, okay, it's just for him. Not terrible
Yeah.
for him. It was a 13 on the dice. It's above a 10. But I think he's probably, at her gasp and her jerking her hand out of his, he's going to turn around and like, oh crap, and then, huh, oh, oh, okay. And he's just going to wait very patiently. Like, he doesn't have anything left to be able to do, like, heals or anything, because I think I said he just pumped all of his last spell slots into her at the end of the Apotheosis game. But, like, so he's just like, okay, I just have to wait this out and see what happens because I know what this is. But he is on standby.
I wonder if Cassie actually knows what's going on at the moment.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah,
Medicine, do you reckon?
probably. It is kind of a physiological thing. Oh, did she roll badly?
Yeah. I get
Oh
to pick between
gosh.
a 5 and a 2. Plus
Oh,
2, so 4.
4. Okay. Um, is she visibly freaking out? Do I
Uh,
have to roll an insight?
I think she's probably yeah, she probably is. I think just because I think because she's Frankenoli, so this is probably the first time she's gone through a deliberate redesign and not just normal growing.
Mm,
So
yeah.
there's a little bit of
Yeah. Okay. Um, as soon as Chiff clocks that, he's just gonna put his hands out in a "it's okay" kind of gesture. So, just relax and let it happen.
what
You're having a redesign.
okay. I is that what this is? It
Yeah.
feels weird.
Yeah. Just relax. It'll be over soon.
Okay.
I'm right here.
Yeah, it probably takes again longer than it should because that was a 1 on the dice for the
Mm.
and it um it's a little bit weird because it doesn't
Mm.
seem like her redesign is actually doing a huge amount from what Chifley can see. Um, if Chifley would like to roll a perception, he can
All right.
get
We'll
some
give it a try.
information.
Average. 14.
Yeah. Okay. So. Yeah. I'm gonna say with that, you can see. For instance, like. After the events of the Apotheosis game, like her design had a her color had sort of run into her outline, staining her outline a bit.
Mm-hmm.
And that seems to be taking a lot of that excess color out of her outline and distributing it to other parts of her design. Um, Particularly, her hair is gaining more color on the other side of where she has the pink streaks. She's gaining more pink streaks,
Mm-hmm.
and her sorry, I'm just thinking like this is hard to describe. Um, her design is still undersaturated, but that's again not
A
from
permanent design thing.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's a lack of magic thing.
Mhm.
Um,
Mhm.
but yeah, sorry. Eventually, it sort of settles down, and I can post the art I have of that.
Oh boy! Oh boy! Oh boy! Oh boy! Oh boy!
Cameron, you can do it.
We begged our internet to just behave. Give us the candle art. Gimme,
Yeah.
gimme.
So she's not wearing the same outfit in this, but
Oh yeah. Oh, cute.
yeah. So she has more pink streaks in her hair that have come from the excess color that she had. Her eyes also are very faintly glowing.
Mhm.
And her freckles, which were part of her design before, have become multicolored neon, and they also glow just slightly.
I
Yeah.
love the rainbow freckles. That's adorable.
I've been wanting to implement them for a while, and this was a really good chance.
They're great. I love that.
So, like I said, it wasn't a big redesign, at least not as far as Chifley can tell. Like, she still looks pretty similar. Like, some tunes can have a major redesign, but this one seemed to be quite small given how long it took. Which is a
Mm.
little bit weird, but
Well, I mean, he knows they're all different. Like, I mean, his redesign, he didn't have that little scribbly thing because he was just sort of covered in ice and then just went psh, in true anime fashion.
yep.
Um, and while his shape didn't change, his coloration and his physiology did. So it was less of a visual being redesigned thing and more of a internal thing. So he knows that they're different and unique to each person. He's also thinking of M1A a little bit, insofar as redesigns go. Um, but yeah, he's like, okay, that's not too bad. Cool. And as her design settles down, he's just gonna reach his hands out and gently touch her arms. How do you feel?
Tired.
That's fair.
Uh,
Do you want to see?
yeah. I guess it. Yeah.
Oh, come on. And he'll lead her over to where the bathroom is and open it and push the door open and just sort of step to the side so she can step in and have a look in the mirror.
Yeah, she's gonna like lean in and sort of like poke at her own face and like hair and just like that's cool. Um yeah, she likes it. I did roll a perception which was for two things.
Mm-hmm.
So which I think that's probably big enough to notice them both. Um, one is that she has noticed the burn on her arm is still there, so there's a bit of a pinched frown at that.
Mm-hmm.
But then the other thing that she seems to have noticed while like looking in the mirror, which funnily enough is not actually due to the mirror, but more just the fact that she's having a large emotional range at the moment. And so there is a bit of a look of surprise, and then she is yeah, because there's a mirror here, so she's gonna twist around and lift her poncho up to see her back. And there are little tiny like buds for bud like things on the back of her on her back that are a little bit curled up still, but her the beginnings of her wings growing back.
I'm gonna roll Chifley a perception, see if he's noticed that. That's not your best. But I think does that get us over a 10? Can I math at this time of day? 10. Average.
Average.
He's probably not like when she lifted her shirt, he probably like averted his eyes or something. It's like, okay, we're being polite.
Yeah. I God, I don't know if she's noticed that or not. Just uh yeah, I don't know if she's saying anything. Just
Yeah, I think he'll just give her a few moments and then what do you think?
I like it. It Yeah, I like it. And look, uh, she is gonna like sort of turn a little bit to gesture at her back because it was only the poncho that she lifted up.
Mm-mm. Yeah, he'll glance over his shoulder and then turn fully when it's safe, I guess. Are those your wings? They are growing back.
Yeah, they
Thank the gods.
yeah feels weird, but they're coming back.
What a relief. Oh, I'm so glad that they are. Oh, I just had a thought. And he pinches the bridge of his nose in a kind of way. We're gonna have to figure out what we're telling Missy.
Ah,
Your father, we can tell whatever you feel comfortable telling him, but I cannot explain kidnapping and imposters to her. Oh dear.
okay. All right. This is I'm gonna have to roll this for Cassie because the not being told stuff when you're little is a bit of a
Oh yeah, no, I realize that.
okay. That's about average.
Mm-hmm. 12.
I don't know. I think she does take that sort of deep breath in, like, yeah, Missy is 6. Um,
Mm.
but she's still looking a little bit emotional about it. Just a little bit angry on Missy's behalf. Um, and
Yeah, I think Chef will look up and I think he'll see that. She's gonna ask questions as soon as she gets here.
yeah,
And I'll leave it up to you on how much you want to tell her.
don't want to lie to her. Wait,
No, of course not. But if I know Missy, and I do, if we tell her that someone went out of their way to hurt you, well, she will probably react the same way as she did when someone did the same to me. You are going to have a tiny little crusader in your corner. So, well, I don't want to lie to her. We could probably simplify some of the details for now.
Yeah. Okay. Simplify. Yeah, can do that. I mean, they're in custody now. You said so.
Hmm.
Ah, this isn't gonna be easy, is it?
No. We can also try and buy time. And just tell her that hard to talk about now.
She pulls a little bit of a face. You get the impression that that's a line she's heard before.
Yeah, probably. Well, just give yourself a day.
Okay. Can a day. I can give myself a day.
She'll understand.
Yeah. Just I know how it feels to not know, to have it being kept from you, but to know that it's being kept from you. And to see it affect those around you, but they won't tell you anything.
Yeah. Sometimes knowing is just as painful.
Yeah, starting to see that.
Missy is very young. And she may not understand, no matter which way we explain it. All we can do is try and reassure her that it's over and that you're safe now. That the people who did this are no longer a threat.
Yeah, okay. Can do that.
And any details that we don't tell her that you want to, we can make a note of it and tell her in time. Or whenever you feel comfortable. I just worry that she's going to get very protective of you. And
Well, it wouldn't be the first person.
no, it wouldn't. But Missy is far more prone to reckless behavior than I, and goes above her means quite often.
Yeah, that actually gets a bit of a bright smile from Cassie. Like, yeah, she knows. She's been around Missy enough to know.
Mm-hmm.
God,
Mm-hmm.
she. I mean, it wasn't that long. The last time she saw Missy was probably around the time that, or one of the last times she saw Missy was around the time when they were packing the old house and they went on an escapade with
Soul.
Soul.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
uh, yeah, I think that is probably the thing that is sort of convincing her the most that yeah, don't want Missy to try and fix things for herself at the moment. That's the last thing they kind of want at the moment. So
Yes, because Missy will not act within her capacity. She is 6. She cannot. She cannot dispense justice. She does not have that capacity. Yeah. So.
I do think there is a little bit of like mirth in her look as there's that little bit of the that definitely younger sibling vibe that like mischief look that Cassie's giving Chifley right now, and the um uh and just so how many times have you grounded her since I've been gone?
He actually folds his arms over his chest and he's having a think about it. And I don't know if I've established too much canonically, but I think I'm just going to pull a number out of the air. So 3.
Ah, yep, sounds about right.
Hmm. Yeah. She means well. And to her credit, each time has been for something slightly different. But I don't know what I'm going to do with her. And he is going to sort of smile and relax his arms. And does Cassie want to roll a perception?
Sure, I shall do that. I don't need to roll that at disadvantage.
Oh, is that a nat?
That's
Nat
a
one.
nat one.
Okay. Never mind then.
Can
Yeah,
I
he's
roll that again? I kind of want this knowledge.
yeah, roll. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, yeah, I'm just no. I should roll that at disadvantage, and I'll take that one if it's not
Not a
not
nat
again.
one. The DC is not high for this.
Okay. Well, I'll take that that lower roll then. I did roll a 17 the second one, but I'm gonna have
Oh.
to go with the 4 plus 4.
8?
So that's an
Okay, 8.
8.
Yes, you can definitely get something with 8. He has slivers of blue in his hair again. His hair is changing back from white. He's relaxing a bit. He's calming down. He still looks buggered. And he's got no spell slots left for the day, so he really just wants to eat pizza and fall down for a few hours. But
Honestly, she was feeling pretty similar.
yeah. But he is relaxing, and he's visibly relaxing, not only in his posture but also in his coloration. And he unfolds his arms and he gives her a smirk. And I think probably a really great place to leave the end of this FPS is him just going, "Did I tell you about the time she decided to leave school to go to a child fighting arena?"
There is a delighted no.
We'll leave them there. Oh, wow. That was fun.
Yeah. That
Oh,
was really good.
I'm very proud of them. I was only close to actually genuinely crying once.
Aww. You know, I'm happy with how that went too. Like, that could have gone a lot worse. I was expecting
It
more
could have.
tears.
Yeah. Oh, but they communicate like adults.
Yep. Yeah.
Oh, dear.
People could
We
learn
just have
from
to
them.
work on the rest of them now. Oh, gosh. Well, that was fun. Thank you
Yeah.
for doing this with me, Kendall.
I was gonna thank you for doing this with me.
I beat you to it. I win.
Yeah, but this was an
Oh,
absolute delight. I'm so glad we did this. I've been looking forward to this since Saturday, Sunday, since Sunday.
Sunday. Yeah. That was good. And they can have their sleepover in a big mountain of blankets and pillows on the lounge room floor. And eat
Yep.
pizza and wake up with Missy's foot in their face. Because that's just what she's gonna do. She's gonna sprawl.
Yeah, I'm glad I got that detail right.
Dead to rights is what you gotta. Oh dear, oh dear. No, that's good.
All right.
Healing can commence. Healing can
Yes,
commence.
very good. Yeah, they all need it, I think.
Yeah.
right.
Oh dear.
We should.
Should we say goodbye?
Yeah.
Mm.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye.